Hi guys! I was just getting ready to color up an image with my superhero blue-black hair, so I thought, heck, why not make a video? I'm using Mei Lin from the new Sister Stamps company. So cute. And I stamped her on Paper Trey Ink cardstock. And let's get going with this. I'm going to be using the C's, the cool grays, C5, C7, C9, and then B29 is what's going to give us our superhero blue. So I'm going to just start with the C5. I've already decided that I want my light source coming from the right, so I'm just going to start laying my color in opposite that direction. And get that on there. And I'm not worrying about how pretty it looks. We're just getting the color on here. And don't be afraid to flip your image around. I find it's easier to pull towards me than to push away. I just have more control over where the marker goes, so I don't accidentally go into the skin when I'm doing this. Okay, and then we're get some on her cute little buns up here. Have that flower cast in a little bit of shadow. Same for this guy. Have a little bit of shadow there. Okay. So now it's time for the C7. And the reason why I call this superhero blue is because it reminds me of the old comic books, you know, like the old Superman or Archie comics where Veronica and Jughead and those guys, anybody who had the black hair, they'd add a hint of blue to it to give it a kind of super shiny look, which I thought was really cool, and I wanted to try to mimic that when I was coloring up stamped images. And so this is my take off of that. So again, not worrying about being pretty at this point, just getting the color on there. Okay. Looking pretty good. Oh, I don't want to forget underneath that flower up there. Okay. And then now I'm going to bring in my B29. That's ultramarine, nice and bright. And I'm just going to pull that down over both of the colors I've put on now. And this is going to give us a nice blue base, and it's going to blue up those shadows that we've started with our darkest colors. Okay. Oops. Okay. And this is just our first base of blue. We'll be coming back in with it a little bit later, but this, get this nice and blue all the way here in all the shadow areas. Okay. And then, oh, can't forget up here, our little bun head. Okay. Alright, now it's time to bring in our darkest, our C9. We're just gonna, this is the one we're gonna use the least. It's just getting those darkest areas that are furthest away from our light source coming in here. Just gonna reinforce, give us some dimension and contrast in our image. Give her a little bit down here. Okay. So now I'm going to skip back down to my C7. And this is where I'm going to start blending them together, and this is where I'm going to start using the feather type motion, where instead of just laying the color on, this is where I want to follow the grain of the hair, how it would grow naturally, to give her that look of, you know, that it's not straight, straight, straight. It's like there's a curve to it as it follows the roundness of her head. So we're just doing this. Kind of looks like teeth. And then we'll do the same on here, just at a smaller scale. And then go back to my C5. Pull in a little bit further. This is where we're just blending everything together. Okay. And you can leave more white if that's what you prefer. I tend to not leave much white, just hints of it, so that when I start adding back in the low lights, I just have a little bit of white showing. But again, that's kind of, the more white you leave, the glossier the hair will look. Okay. So now that I got that, now I'm going back to my B29, and this is where I'm going to be creating those strands of hair that are going to give us our low light and highlight contrast. And then we're just laying them in, like I said, with the grain, how it would grow naturally out of the head. Have some coming up. We don't necessarily want them meeting each other, just, you know, filling in spaces. Give our shadow back there still. Okay. Then I'm going to pull some on the little buns. And then I'm going to do that again with my C9. Just right along in there. Mixing them in with the blue. And this is just a light hand, just using that very tip of your marker. Get some fine strands. Same on here. Always following the direction that you want that hair growing out. Okay. Getting that looking good. Okay. Not too shabby. Then I'll go with my C5 just anywhere I want to start, you know, making that lighter just a little bit right in there. And right in here, smooth out some of that. Like I said, I don't usually leave a whole lot of white showing. Okay. Give it a nice little blend. And that, my friends, is some superhero blue hair. Now she's ready to take on the world with her little whirligig there. Well, thanks for watching. Bye.